Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari. And today I want to read a verse from the Bhagavad-gita for you, which talks about what happens when your buddhi, which means is translated as intelligence, when your capacity to interpret and understand the world is in tamas, is covered, is in darkness. What happens then? And that will lead me to explain to you the power and importance of having your spiritual awakening, of having this spiritual realization. So let's first read the verse. It's verse 32 from the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita. And the verse goes like this. Adharmaṁ dharmam iti manyate tamasāvṛtā sarvārthān viparītāṁś buddhisa partha tamasi. Translation. And this translation is from the Bhagavad-gita Comes Alive. O Arjuna, when one's buddhi is certain that dharma is adharma, so there's a switch. When your buddhi, your intelligence is saying dharma is adharma. When their manas, their mind, is enveloped in darkness. And when they see all things and processes in a perverted and distorted way, that buddhi is tamasic. So let's translate these little terms. So buddhi is translated as intelligence. Again, it's the part of your consciousness that analyzes things, that determines what's what. That's what buddhi does. It gives you your worldview. It says, this is this, and this is that, and therefore this is what I should do, and that's what I should not do, and this is the best way to get to that. That's what intelligence, that's what buddhi does. Now, manas is just in general your mind. It's the stuff that's, like going through your, when we say, what's going through your mind? That stuff, the thoughts and sensations and emotions you're having at every moment. So that's manas. So what he's saying is, when you get a buddhi that's giving you everything distorted. So what's the correct path? Dharma. It thinks is adharma, the opposite, what should not be done. So it's confusing things. And what should not be done, it thinks you should do. So you've flipped everything around. That's the definition of tamas, of this low, dark, ignorant state of mind defined in Bhagavad-gita. Is when you flip things around, is when you do the opposite of what's right. And you see this, unfortunately, all the time in the world. Right? So people are like, yes, I should commit rape. Yes, I should steal. Yes, I should lie. So that like you're going against dharma. You decide that it's a good idea to go against dharma, to violate the principles of morality, of ethics. Yeah, that's what I should do. That's a good idea. That's buddhi and tamas. You're flipping things around. It's a disaster. And because of that, your manas is processing things. It's seeing all things in a perverted and distorted way. So you're going through life, and of course this person's thinking that they're understanding everything, but they're, of course, making a giant mess of their lives, of other people's lives, and of the world. Now, what's more interesting is when you take this to the final level, to the ultimate dharma, which is the spiritual awakening. Now what happens is, until you have this spiritual awakening, you're going through life thinking that you understand life. And to a certain point, you're seeing life, some things, you're getting it, you're seeing things. You're like, no, I can see, I can understand life, this is what I have to do. But you're not seeing all of it. And because you're not seeing all of it, you're missing out on the most important bit. The whole experience is lessened. Take this crazy example. Let's just be a little patient with me with this crazy example. Let's imagine that you get some aborigine that's like one of those deep jungle, never had any other contact, kind of imagine or maybe some alien came down. Imagine somebody never had, well, not alien, probably have some tech, but imagine somebody just never had any experience with watching a movie. And all of a sudden they have access to this tablet, this TV, and they have Netflix. But the sound is switched off. So they can see all these movies. It's like, wow, they've never seen that. person, imagine a person like Tarzan raised by wolves or apes or whatever. Remember, you just came out and you've never seen that. But you have access to all of a sudden like this thing, and you can see all these beautiful images, all these movies, shows, but there's no sound. But it looks amazing. It's like you can actually see it. I can see it, I can follow the story, I can see all these amazing images. And then after a while, somebody says, no, you have to switch the sound on, and shows them like, look, there's a sound. So there's a whole new dimension of the experience now that made it so much better. So you had the experience. It's not that you had no experience, you were having experience, but now there's a new dimension to the experience which you didn't have before, which makes everything much better, makes more sense, you understand better, everything is much better. That's spirituality. That's what happens when you switch on your spiritual. I know this because I had a whole life as an atheist, and then I had Bhagavad, and then I had my life, in an enlightened state with Bhagavad-gita. I know the difference. So it's really good for me because I really I live the two lives in this incarnation. I think just to give you that, to really encourage people to do it, because so I know the difference. Yes, you could see things, it seemed like everything was fine before, but then after, when you have you're enlightened, you're seeing, you're in contact with it, then everything is so much better. Everything is so much clearer. You understand everything, you understand people, you understand your purpose, just everything is so much better. And that's what happens, because now your buddhi has been awakened, now your buddhi is taken to the next level. So now I can interpret and understand life more fully, more correctly. It makes the unspeakable difference, and it's just not me saying this. Of course, you have testimonies of people, all over the world throughout time saying the same thing. It's just such a huge difference, because now your buddhi is fully awakened. And that's why we have the term Buddha. We call him Buddha because his buddhi was fully awake. So Buddha. So now you become Buddha. You become fully aware. And then when you're fully aware, you can understand Dharma correctly in its full meaning. You can understand things in their full meaning, in the full light. And without that, you're kind of going through life without really understanding things. Because it's all about identity. If you look at your life, all the things you think are important, they're because you identify yourself with an aspect of that thing. Let's say, for example, you have family. So then, I'm a father, I'm a mother. So that identity, father, mother, you see yourself as father, mother. So then, you're taking care of children. That becomes very important. No, I'm an athlete. So then, your body is very important, the way things work, your abilities. So that's your identity. I'm a businessman. So that's your identity. Your business becomes very important. No, I'm a big businessman. Okay, so then being a businessman is very important for you. It's your purpose. You want that. And then what happens when there's a problem with that? When your child dies, or when your child becomes a horrible person and never wants to talk to you again or something, then you're desperate. I get so many people writing to me like that. So many mothers, my child never called and doesn't want to know about me. Well, and then is that because you're so focused on your identity as mother, father, that you can't handle that situation, because it was a temporary situation, as all material situations are. Or you've seen athletes that have to retire, or even worse, when they have to retire young because of an injury, then they're destroyed. Sometimes they take to suicide, depression, because that identity, I am an athlete. What am I supposed to be an athlete with a busted knee now? I'm not, so who am I? I'm no one, I'm nothing. So I just want to, depression, I want to kill myself, like that. Or you've seen rich people who stock crashes and, stock markets crash and they kill themselves. Or their businesses, get destroyed, and they just want to kill themselves because that was their identity. But when you have your spiritual awakening, what happens is you have a supreme identity, your spiritual identity, which is transcendental by definition. It goes beyond all matter. It goes beyond all time. If you're in the path of yoga, you understand that your spiritual identity, as Krishna explains in Bhagavad-gita, you've always existed, and you will always exist, and you exist now, so you're eternal. So it's beyond time. So when you have that spiritual identity, and that becomes the most important identity, you understand that that is the most important identity, then all these things in the material world, you know, the child and the business and your career, they take second and third place. Your spiritual identity is supreme, and then therefore you can handle problems with your other identities. You can handle much better because you have a supreme identity which cannot be messed with. Your spiritual identity, your connection with God, your devotion cannot be messed with by anything, any situation, nothing in the universe. Nothing in time. It's an identity beyond space and time. That is very powerful. And it gives you the light, it gives you the purpose, it gives you the way. You understand who you are, you understand what you have to do. Everything becomes so much more clear. Because you have this supreme identity, you have a supreme comprehension, understanding of reality, of what this all is. So you understand what everything is, you understand who you are, you're set. You won't be confused anymore. Your buddhi won't be tamasic anymore. Your manas won't be seeing things all distorted and confused anymore. It makes the biggest difference. So anyway, that's it for now. Let me know, please write below if you've had this experience of awakening. If you've gone through this, leave a little testimony below so that people can see, hear from others what it's like, the before and after of having a spiritual awakening, which is something people have to know more about because it's so wonderful, right? And people just should, and it's free, it's accessible, anybody can have it in any situation. We have to spread this more and more. So have your rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.